join me in welcoming Captain Paul Lorimer to address the club.
There you go. Thank you, everybody. How fantastic is it to be here? This is really great. I'm going to take off my little hat so you can have a little bit more respect for me. I apologise if it's mucked my hair up and that's sticking up, etc. I'm not nervous to come and speak to you this morning because yesterday I was out at Glen Osmond Primary School and I thought I was going to just pick up something there, a kind donation, etc. like that, and I was ushered in to a classroom full of Year 5 students. And they said, "Do you want a seat?" And I said, "Oh, no need for a seat, etc. Well, it might be a little while with the questions." And then I found that I was in there being grilled by these 11-year-olds and 10-year-olds, etc. So after you survive that, nothing really is a worry anymore after that. But it is fantastic. I thank the President, I thank the Board for the invitation to come and just share with you for a few minutes today, and especially at this special time of year and the Christmas celebration. I want to congratulate the whole club for the year that has been for you, for the opportunities that you've taken hold of, for the opportunities that you've created as a club through this last 12 months. The social connections, definitely. The learning and hearing from other people, but the partnering with other people you've done, the giving of your time and your talents, and without doubt funds as well, to the community here, to this city, but also places overseas. I'd encourage you, before we finish here today and you head off into all the other busy things, take a moment around the table. Just say to somebody, well done. Say to somebody, thank you for being part of this with me, and just acknowledge the great things that this year has been. It's an important thing to do, and I would encourage you to do that. I want to personally thank the Rotary Club of Adelaide as well, on behalf of the Salvation Army at 277 Peary Street, where I operate out of Adelaide City Salvos. We benefited this year from the Ron Michelle bequest, and we're just very, very grateful for that contribution that was made to us this year. I thought I might just take a few moments, paint a little picture of what happens for us down there on Peary Street at City Salvos, give you a bit of a picture of the rhythm of the place. At the heart of things really is our Wednesday night community meal that we have there. Probably it's a sit-down meal, probably for roughly around 120 community members, a 3-course meal, and we have probably about 20 volunteers that make that happen every single week. And those volunteers, some of them started in attending the meal and being part of that, and that's now their community, and they give back and participate as well in that. And so from that as well, we've got, of course, wraparound services that take place. So there's a shower van that comes, there's physio and podiatry services, there's some clothing available when people need that. There's a recovery church type of style of meeting that happens. There's karaoke, there's games, etc. So this is, we call it our duo community. So DUO, do unto others, is what it's for. It is short for duos. And there people find some practical help, they find support, but really they find a sense of belonging. And these are things that they can then also in that environment give and share with others. And during the week, 4 mornings a week, we have our Duos Cafe operating in the mornings for a couple of hours. So there's a free barista coffee for people that can come along there. We do about 1,000 cups a month, which if you're signing off the invoices for the milk and the beans, there's a few there, but 1,000 cups. And as well as that, as people go for their coffee, they pick up a bit of a number, and that allows them to move through into the foyer where there's going to be some produce and fruit and whatever there that they can take as well if they have a need there. As well as that, it's a good space for people to wait. If they're going to meet with our Doorways case managers, they can wait there in that environment. Doorways is the Salvation Army's community assistance team. And I don't know the full history, but the doorways is sort of named because the people that come there have a complexity about their life. Truth be known, all of us have a complexity about our lives, don't we, as we get older especially. And but the people come with different issues, and because of the complexity, the idea is that the case managers in a 20-minute session are not going to be solving everything miraculously, but there can be an opening of different doors. An opening of doors within our organisation, but other organisations throughout the city, throughout the country, etc. And so our doorways team. So this cafe, if you like, in the morning there, meets a number of different needs. It certainly is a warm space on a winter's time. It's certainly a cool space on a summer's day. But as well as that, it creates a place for community where people can share one with the other and feel human connection, which is just so crucial. And there's a lot of other stuff too happen from our building, our Resolve team, which is part of the Towards Home group network, and so they assist with people who are struggling with homelessness in our city. We have a few play groups running. We do a breakfast club for a nearby primary school, etc., etc. So that's our local Salvation Army there in the city of Adelaide. And my wife and I, Robin, we have looked after or been in charge of, or whatever the wording is, of the Perry Street site now for just over a year. We came just before Christmas last year. And I've been honest with a few people here, and as I've been chatting beforehand, and I want to be fully transparent with you, my wife Robin and I came from Melbourne to come here to take jobs away from good, hard-working Adelaide people. Yeah, yeah. So I am a little bit shy about that. I am aware that I try to watch when I'm talking about the mall or the mall, or when I'm talking about dancing or dancing. And I didn't pick it up until our children sort of worked, or was talking about Lego quite a lot. Lego this and Lego. And eventually my wife said, I think she means Lego. And I thought, oh, okay. So, I try not to let my language give me away too often, because it's nice to be one of us, isn't it, rather than one of them. Yeah, very, very much so. But you are right probably to class me as a Victorian if you want to do that. But probably more the whole picture of things is my father was born in Adelaide, and he grew up with his two brothers over in Hindmarsh, and both the brothers still live here in Adelaide, retired. One was part of the public service, etc., for the state government for many years, and the other brother was in nursing, worked at Modbury and other hospitals, etc., and they're retired here. And I myself, I am a proud graduate of Unley Primary School. And yes, while I have been educated in other higher education institutions around the country, I think if I look back and I was very honest, obviously any success I've had has come from that great training that took place at Unley Primary School. So I will let you decide whether I am one of them or whether I am one of you. No, I've fallen into that trap after a year of being City Salvos. I mentioned my football team. Yeah, obviously a year was not enough, and so I'm not falling into that one. But I think Heidi mentioned earlier about national identity in part of what she was saying. And our personal identity is a crucial thing for us, isn't it? How we see ourselves, where we belong, where is home for me, where am I accepted, where am I loved. Love for not what I can do for you or give to you or anything like that, but simply love for who I am, that I have worth in and of myself, my personal identity. It's crucial for us. It's crucial for our community members that are at Pirie Street every week. And Hutt Street, who's round the corner, and lots of other spaces, great spaces that we have in our city here, not just our Salvation Army sites. And it especially comes to the surface at this time of year at Christmas time. Where do I belong? Where is home for me? Where am I accepted? Where do I find and am able to give love? Where I'm not them, where I am us. Out of our personal identity, I'd like to suggest, comes this sense where we continually break people down into them and us. We don't do it on purpose, it's subconscious, but we do it again and again. They're one of us, they're not, they're one of them over there. And then from that, of course, that's how we respond to people. And we make decisions out of it. And all the while we know that who we are is a very complex thing. We know it for ourselves. It's a very complex thing, a bit like the iceberg under the water, isn't it? You see the iceberg on top, but there's this huge thing under the water. And a bit like my little example of Victorian for me, but also actually under the surface. And it's come back to me in this last year that I've been around here once again in South Australia. Who am I exactly? And that connection, deep connection here with Adelaide. And of course, you can pick up my message that if we were more aware of this breaking people into them and us, that would make a really big change. If we could then be aware and then challenge ourselves over it, why am I doing that again? We could have a big impact on our relationships, on our families, on our communities. It would spread out from us rather than people picking up, that's right, you know you're not one of us, you're one of them. During Christmas time these days we tell the Christmas story very heavily through the carols, and it was great to sing the Silent Night today. The choir was fantastic, and their choice, the Evan Hansen one. Do love that message. Do love that message. But in the Christmas story we tell it through the carols and the singing there, but also through the nativity scenes that pop up around the place. And at the heart of the nativity scene there's the manger. That's always there, which is, of course, most of us older ones know, I don't know the younger ones, the manger is, of course, an animal food trough. And that's where the newborn baby Jesus was placed. The manger is an incredibly powerful symbol that sits silently at the centre of the Christmas celebrations. Along with the shepherds, it speaks about those that were on the outer of society. This significant person as a helpless baby, placed where, what honour is given, sits in the animal food trough. And so we see this story of those on the outer of society, those that fit into that class of them, being brought into the centre and chosen as part of this significant event. And so my hope for us, and my sweets is getting cold, I'm going to sit down and hop into it in a second. My hope for us each this Christmas, that it may be a great Christmas season for each of us, that in our families and our friendship groups and in our wider community, more than ever, we may be able to just a little bit break down some of that them and us, and that we can help others find for ourselves that place of belonging, that place of welcome, that we know that we are home and we are loved, not for what we can contribute or do or add to somebody else, but simply because we are important people of worth. It's great to be part of your celebrations today. I trust you have a great Christmas.